Hi there, it's Keaton from the Nature Embodied Collective, my creative and healing practice along with community connection opportunities. And I wanted to share some earth-based practices that help to connect us to ourselves as well as the land, the earth, this space that we are intricately connected to, and to draw on that belonging, on that feeling of almost like knowing and recognizing those qualities. And so we're going to do a little elemental check-in, recognizing how the elements are alive in our body, and then turning to a body scan that is actually scanning the body of Earth, and all the layers of the elements and life at work on the planet. So let's do it. So settling in and finding a posture that supports you for now. There's always freedom to move and adjust, and knowing that stillness is always there for you to relax into. Maybe we can look at, instead of an obligation of being still right now, that it can be a relief. This is all we have to focus on right now. Everything else can wait. And giving ourselves that cue again to relax by relaxing the eyelids, maybe casting the gaze down, finding a still spot, or if you feel comfortable, closing the eyes. And as we attune to our inner sensations, they might change as we become aware of them, and we can allow all of that to happen, whether we're following closely with no judgment or zoning in on a sense experience that feels safe for us for now. Maybe like an anchor or a resource. Could be the feeling of the skin touching the surface, something that we smell in the air, or something that we see, even imagine, that brings us to a place of neutrality, maybe a bit of pleasure. And know that this is here throughout the whole practice, and all of the invitations that I'll pose for us are just that. They're invitations. This is your time to connect with yourself. So you can let things wash over you. You can follow along to a certain extent. Let your imagination run. Let your inner world talk to you, following cues of your senses. You are so wise and the best authority on your inner experience right now. We'll just tune into that anchor. Let everything else get a little bit quieter. You may have a couple of anchors, maybe some things that you can switch between. Anchors change as well. to see our inner workings as the work of the elements, the building blocks of earth, of life. And we are not separate in any way. And we are woven into this story of belonging so intricately with so much care. So maybe bringing to mind an image of water flowing, trusting if a vision or feeling or knowing arises for you about what this water looks like, feels like. And the question is, how is this flow of water representative of the flow of your emotions? Maybe noticing the quality of it specifically right now, from on a spectrum, if we plot it, to notice whether it's more on the choppy end or even flowing tides, still whirling pools. And just notice it doesn't need to change. If it does, I invite you to stay curious. Without maybe getting too wrapped up in the story of it all. Because we'll move on now to the earth element, as if we're looking at some greenery. How does this greenery relate to the health of the body? When we look at the quality of the greenery, the health of the greenery, where does it fall on the spectrum of maybe wilting to buoyant? It's strong. Resilient. And again, just noticing and we'll move now to the element of air, relating this to the quality of wind, as if the mind could represent itself through a quality of wind. Is it on the spectrum closer to blustering or drifting, barely there? Just a bit of a brush of wind at the cheek. And taking note, none of the feedback is anything to fix. And we are very changeable, we're constantly changing, so any state that we're recognizing, whether we experience it as to us or something that feels like it's a negative or draining force, that it is going to change. But we can witness it right now. That's what we can offer. And we'll move now to the element of fire, the radiance. If there is like a star or sun beaming on the spectrum, is it more obstructed or is it clear? And how is this radiance representative of our connection to our spirit? Noticing. We're doing really well, and we'll move on, keeping the awareness inward and the spirit of noticing alive. I'll invite you into some gentle movement that will break up our inner inquiry practice, where we'll begin just rolling the ears to the shoulders, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, on the other side, finding a pace, expression of this movement that works for you right now. It can be really slow, or maybe small. The ear doesn't come anywhere close to the shoulder. Those micro movements can be so powerful too. And any movements that the body just wants to do here, you're free to move. As stated at the beginning, this is something that animals do. We see when they stand up from having a rest, they just move their bodies intrinsically. You have that same intelligence system, that body wisdom. So just let it move you. And if you're not getting cues from the senses, no worries. You can hang out in the pose that was offered, or find some stillness, or even gentle rocking. Maybe rocking on the hips, side to side, front to back. Can be really small, or more sweeping motions, longer. Wonderful. And we'll slow down any more vigorous movements in favor of finding a bit more stillness, so that our internal awareness can come more online, and we can tap into our imagination for this earth addition to the elements, the 4 elements that we observed within, we'll also tap into 2 more. So we'll start with the ones that we just tapped into, imagining the water of the earth. And like your mind's eye can perceive, maybe with a fuzzy outline, no exactness is necessary, but as prompted, surface of the earth, below the crust, in the air, in the low valleys and the high mountains, scanning with our awareness through this part of Earth. Fuzzy lines, as if this atmosphere, air, was part of our body, part of us. Lastly, bringing awareness to the radiance of the stars and all of the celestial objects in that great container of space. How their movement and cycles, part of the timekeeping recognized by Earth, crucial to how the Earth spins and how the Earth is heated. And maybe in this radiance from these celestial objects and this rich and potent container of space, that we feel connection to all things, scanning it like it is a part of us. Close this practice by zooming out even more and allowing the vision to get fuzzy as we see everything that we've scanned through, from our microcosm of our elements to the earth and the view of celestial objects as one whole thing. Watching an animal in its habitat. What does it do every day? What does it get nourished by? What does it connect with? return back into our bodies and play with the inquiry before we return back to our shared space. But what in that practice of recognizing similarities or connections, from getting from big picture to small, where we feel reflected, where we feel that reflection is pointing to our belonging. And why would we want to cultivate that feeling of belonging? What does that do for us? To not question that we can belong here as a part of this whole. And so if anything comes up, making a mental note, and if you haven't already, you really adjusted to your space and grabbed a pen. We can ground a little bit more by taking in the room around us, getting a 360 view, just rooting ourselves back to the here and now, and maybe sensing into that anchor that we started with. Knowing that that's with us, and we can stay with a lighter touch as we begin to come back into the everyday.